faces don't faze me. I'ma get it on my own. Cause I ain't never asked for no help. I just did it by myself. Can't nobody tell me no, no, no. And they ain't gotta love you. Long as you just love you, you gon' be alright on your own. Straight up the dome.
Happy birthday to Soundman.
To Soundman, yeah.
That's how we're starting the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Off the Dome Sports Podcast, your favorite sports podcast, where two sports lovers sit and give their hot takes off the dome. Thanks to a man we like to call Soundman. Shout out to Soundman. It is his birthday, and he is older than 46, so we don't know how much time he has left. First of all, shout out to Ezzy for that intro song. It is called Off the Dome. Very good song for what this podcast is. Give him a listen on Spotify, Ezzy, E-Z-Z-I. If you are just listening in right now, that means you're probably on newrockradio.us. Listen to newrockradio.us at any time for the best and your favorite rock music, both national songs, classic rock songs, or even local stuff that you'll hear from bands like Silverdose. Make sure to check out newrockradio.us as well as newcountryradio.us. Streaming some great crunchy music. Streaming some great country music 24/7 as well. I'm a big country music fan, so go ahead and give that a listen.
Yeah, you were like the number one listener in the world to Cody Johnson.
Top 0.1%, baby. That's what we do. But, yeah, go ahead and give the podcast a follow as well. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube, Off the Dome Sports Podcast, or on Twitter at @off_the_dome pod. We also want to thank our sponsor, Petra Restaurant and Lounge. You can see their sign right there. Big shout out to Petra. Great place, best dining experience in the area. If you're around La Place, you've got to know about Petra. They offer daily specials and a fantastic atmosphere for both dinner and lunch. Got a great lounge area, a beautiful wine selection if you're into that kind of stuff. So make sure to check out Petra. They're at 1036 West Airline Highway in La Place, or give them a call at 985-359-8888.
88.
A lot of eights. Speaking about some business going on here in the Radio House studios, we were supposed to have Manuscript in tomorrow night, Wednesday, for the band practice segment we like to do here in Studio A. Unfortunately, Manuscript will no longer be coming in, but don't you worry. They will be coming in eventually, just not tomorrow. So make sure to keep your...
Tomorrow's Tuesday.
Wednesday, yeah. Yep, tomorrow's not Wednesday, by the way. My brain's fried.
He's just trying to confuse everybody.
That's what I do best. But yeah, make sure to keep your eyes peeled on Facebook, on Radio House Studios account. We'll talk about when Manuscript will be coming in. They will be coming in eventually, just going to have to wait a little bit longer. However, we do have some dates finalized for that band practice podcast, and that's February 1st and March 1st. February 1st, we'll have New Orleans original rock band Drab live in studio. I know Thug Nasty's a big fan of them. Go ahead and give them a listen before they come in on February 1st. And then go ahead and listen to Damn Self as well. They'll be coming in on March 1st. That's another New Orleans original rock band. Those New Orleans original rock bands, they are loving the studio, and we love them back. So make sure to check out February 1st, March 1st on newrockradio.us as well as Radio House Studios platforms, Drab and Damn Self.
Damn Self.
If you didn't see the last episode,
shame on you.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a Facebook Live exclusive on the Radio House Studios account due to some technical difficulties. But we were wearing the shirts that we made. If you ordered a shirt, make sure to send us the moolah on Venmo. That is OTD Sports Pod on Venmo. Make sure to Venmo that account to pay for your T-shirt. If you ordered a small through an extra large, that is $18. A 2X or a 3X was $21. If you ordered a shirt and you need to pick it up and need to get it paid for, make sure to let us know. Venmo that account, OTD Sports Pod.
Thanks, Soundman. I was just about to come do this, but yeah, here they are for the viewers that did not see the last episode. Look at the birthday boy with the
shirt. That's a beautiful shirt. Show the back. Presented by New Rock Radio. Gotta let you know. Shout out to Soundman on his birthday, coming in here with the sling and all. Being a beautiful model. We love you, Soundman. Happy birthday. But yeah, make sure to Venmo that account. Make sure to let us know you need your shirt. We have no problem bringing them to you in person. Us two, the OTD boys, will make sure you get them. I know we've got some people out there who need to pick them up or need to get them delivered, need to pay for them, whatever the case may be. We'll make sure to get them to you.
Yeah, your mom says she has her shirt on now. I would hope so.
Shout out to Mom. Good for you. You still need to pay for him, though. Thanks, Mom. Way to run us broke. All right, let's get into some sports. Sports ball. So this past weekend in the NFL was absolutely crazy. We're going to get into each game because, I mean, we have to talk about a lot of these games.
Yeah.
But first, we want to talk about our team, our city, the New Orleans Saints. Finally got a win. It feels like it's been forever and a day since the last time the Saints won a game. But we finally did it again. We were 4-9, no hope. But when you play the Falcons, you can always count on you having a good game, apparently.
Thanks, Jalen.
But yeah, we played the Falcons in Sunday in New Orleans. Final score 21-18. Saints got out to a 14-0 lead early in the first quarter.
Looking hot.
They looked great the first two drives, 14-0. Saints are looking phenomenal. Offense struggled a little bit more down the stretch. Defense struggled in the fourth quarter. Allowed Atlanta to score 9 points to bring them within 3. But we were able to do enough to not let the Falcons win the game. 21-18, Saints get a win. We weren't flashy.
A win's a win.
A win is a win. It wasn't a flashy win.
Especially in this division.
Yeah, I mean, in a division where the division leader is 6-8.
Only one game ahead?
One game. We're one game behind.
So is the rest of the division.
Yeah, I mean, 3 5-9 teams and a 6-8 team is the NFC South right now. If you would have told me that before the year, I would have called you crazy. But it's the reality with only 3 weeks left in the NFL season. Like I was saying, we weren't a flashy team on Sunday. We had one flashy play, though. Yeah. Longest play of the season for the Saints. Taysom Hill drop back, throw a pass to Rashid Shaheed for a 68-yard. Yeah. I mean, is Rashid Shaheed the best name in football? It's a dope name.
It's up there.
In pro football, I mean, in college, they've got some names.
Oh, yeah.
Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Don't even get me started.
On General Booty. They've got some names in college football.
Buck Coors.
Dude. But, yeah, Rashid Shaheed, not only a great name, great player. Undrafted guy. Made the Saints training camp roster. Found his way onto the practice squad. Now he's making plays at the NFL level. Shout out to Rashid Shaheed. But, yeah, Taysom threw the ball to him, 68-yard touchdown pass. I usually hate on Taysom, but I got to give credit where credit is due. Went 2 for 2 for 80 yards and a touchdown as the quarterback. I think it's great the way they're starting to use Taysom. I had talked to my buddy, a guy y'all have seen many a time on this podcast, Mr. Lott-Tober, and he said this game was the first time the coaches actually used Taysom right, which I would agree. He ran the ball. He handed the ball off as a quarterback, because if you see Taysom coming at quarterback, it's typically
power to the right.
Yeah, he's always going to run the ball. But, he handed the ball off, catches the defense off guard, passed the ball, ran the ball. Taysom did a lot of stuff, which we were used to him doing before, and it looks like they may be bringing him back to that role. And when it happens, we win games.
I think he just has really good games when he plays Atlanta.
Yeah, he always seems to show up when we want him to. Not only when we need him to, but when we want him to. Another guy who stood out to me on Sunday was Juwan Johnson. Juwan had a great game for himself. 4 catches, 67 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Him and Andy Dalton looked like they were on the same page all day, clicking. Shout out to Juwan. He was a former wide receiver for us. Gained some weight, learned how to block, plays tight end. And he's pretty good at it, too. Unfortunately, he's had health struggles, but when we do see him healthy, he's a great red zone target. Been playing really, really well. And one more thing the Saints offense did that I think I was very, very happy with is they finally gave Kamara the opportunity with the ball. Like, I did some math, and over the last 5 games, he this was his game when he came back from injury, because he was injured for a little bit. He averaged 11 touches per game. 11. That's rushes and receptions combined. 11 touches. Your best player. There's no reason for that. Like, he should be running the ball more than 11 times, not just touching the ball more than 11 times. But this game, 21 carries for 91 yards, added 3 receptions onto that. You put the ball in Kamara's hands, we win the game.
Yeah, I like how we're starting to see him get back to his normal workload that we've seen for the past few seasons. But I do believe that his injury earlier in the season did have something to do with his lighter workload. Maybe they knew something that they didn't make public, where he was still kind of fighting through some things. But I'm glad to see him completely healthy and back on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And with Mark Ingram out, we saw David Johnson, who was just 5 or 6 years ago, he was an MVP candidate, and he comes onto the field. We see him a couple times. He fumbled in the red zone.
You can't really hate him that much because all of our running backs have done that so far this season.
Yeah, true. I feel like we get at least one of those.
Yeah, it's an initiation at this point.
True.
To be a Saints running back, you have to fumble in the red zone.
Yeah, checks out. But our defense played really well in the first half, especially. First half only allowing the Falcons 3 points, and they were shutting them down. Desmond Ridder, it was his first start in the NFL, rookie quarterback out of Cincinnati. A guy who, before the draft, I was like, if he goes into the right situation, he could flourish. Unfortunately for him, I don't think he went into the right situation.
See, I
can't say long term.
I think he went to the right situation, just not this early.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially without him playing this is his first start.
Yeah, and you would hope that for the Falcons situation that Mariota would be like kind of a good role model for him. However, that didn't happen. Mariota went on IR and has not been around the team since they benched him. He hasn't been going to the facility. He hasn't been doing anything.
Oh wow!
So kind of a bad spot, if you ask me.
Yeah, and your first start against a pretty tough defense.
Yeah, it's a bad situation. No, he didn't have a great first game, to say the least. 50% completion percentage, 97 yards, no touchdowns. He didn't throw a pick, to be fair. But, not completing many of his passes, threw less than 100 yards. He did have 38 yards on the ground, so that sounds pretty good for a quarterback, but then you got to realize 18 of those 38 yards were on the very last play of the game when there was nothing left to do but run the ball. And then he also got sacked 4 times.
Yeah, we had a lot of pressure on him almost all game.
Yeah. That defense played really well. The only thing they didn't do well is defend the run. Yeah. Tyler Algier, another rookie. That Falcons team is full of rookies.
Yeah, they got 3 starting on offense.
Yeah, and it's their QB1, RB1, wide receiver 1. RB1B, I guess, because him and Cordero split. They might
be real good in a few years.
It's possible. If all their young talent comes to be what they could be, their offense will be almost unstoppable.
And Kyle Pitts, I almost forgot about him.
Yeah, he's on IR too. Kyle Pitts. He was supposed to be the next, like Travis Kelce, Vernon Davis, like those reception tight ends who are absolutely dominant. But they have Drake London, rookie. Desmond Ridder's a rookie. Tyler Algier's a rookie. Caleb Huntley, who just got placed on IR, he got injured in that Saints game. I think he's a rookie as well. So, they've got weapons on that offense for the Falcons team. I don't want to talk any more good about the Falcons. Shut up. Falcons stink. Other than the fact that Tyler Algier had 17 carries for 139 yards on a touchdown. Great game out of Tyler Algier out of BYU.
It's a shame Soundman had him on his bench.
Oh. It's a shame Soundman was the number 1 team this entire fantasy year.
Yeah.
And
almost unbeatable.
Almost unbeatable. And, he still has Aaron Jones left tonight, but
we'll get to that.
It will be a tough road to cross.
Yeah, we'll get to that later when we talk about bets.
Foreshadowing. But yeah, next up for the Saints, we will be playing the Cleveland Browns, coming off of a division win against the Baltimore Ravens.
A not so convincing divisional win.
No, that Cleveland Browns team, I don't care if they won or not, they didn't look good.
Well, neither did the Ravens, but they don't have their starting quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, the team that lost obviously didn't look as good as the team that won, but even the Browns stunk. So, we'll see how that goes. We will be traveling to Cleveland for that game, so that makes me even a little bit more iffy. Just because. Well, no.
Okay,
the Saints.
It's too cold.
What do I look like going to Cleveland? What do I have to do in Cleveland? But yeah, Cleveland Browns versus the Saints. That'll be taking place on Christmas Eve.
Oh, I'll be working.
I will not. Damn. But Saints traveling to Cleveland for Christmas Eve. We will talk about that game on our next episode. Thursday. Right?
No. Friday. No.
Thursday.
We'll figure it out.
Someday. One of these days. talking about another New Orleans team, the Pelicans. Last time we talked about them, talked about how they were the number 1 seed, looking absolutely unstoppable. They were 18-8. They were looking phenomenal, had won 7 in a row, and then we cursed them.
Yeah.
We talk about them and
talk about them one time.
And they lose 3 straight. 2 straight to the Jazz, 1 in overtime. Heartbreaking loss that one was.
That was a good game though.
And then the most recent one to the Suns on Saturday. A very unfortunate part about this is that we got swept by the Jazz in the season series. So if something happens and us and the Jazz finish near each other at the end of the year, Jazz would get a tiebreaker if we finish with the same. I don't think us and the Jazz will finish with the same record, to be fair. But if something were to happen like that, Jazz would actually have the tiebreaker on her for winning that season series.
Lauri Markkanen shot the lights out.
Jordan Clarkson, too. They both shot over 50% from 3 and both made more than 5 threes. Lauri Markkanen, I think, shot like 5 for 9, and Jordan Clarkson shot like 7 for 14. Like, crazy. Just in that game, I would say, honestly, I would say that's the Pelicans' biggest struggle. I was talking to Mr. Lottober about this as well, is that in one of those Jazz games, we only shot 27 threes, and we shot 9%. 9% on 27 attempts. We are second to last in the league on three-point attempts right now. 29th in the entire league on how many three-pointers were taken per game. The Jazz, top 5. They shot 47 threes.
Yeah, and they're making them.
Yeah, I mean, they only made 38% as a team, which is, pretty fair. Like, it's not terrible, but it's not, like, outstanding.
Yeah.
But when you're shooting 20 more than the other team, 3 is more than 2. Like, I mean, you're going to score more points if you're taking higher point shots. It's just, and they're falling at a good rate. It's just kind of how it works.
Yeah.
So for me, I think the Pelicans should probably start taking more threes. Even if you're not going to make them, at least try. When the other team is almost doubling your three-point attempts, you're not doing something that you should be doing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think from what I've seen in the past few games, we're just passing up a lot of shots. I don't think our players are too confident in their shooting abilities. Besides, like Trey Murphy, he'll shoot it even if he's covered.
Him, him.
C.J. McCollum, also another one who's been shooting.
Yeah, and he luckily for us, they've started to fall. He went like 2 weeks where he just couldn't hit anything. Like nothing was falling for him, and he's finally starting to hit some shots.
Yeah, but other than those players, I feel a lot of players look kind of not too confident in themselves when they get an open shot behind the arc.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of pass up on
off the bench, we've also got Jose and Devontae who aren't afraid to shoot the 3 when they need to, but keyword when they need to. I mean, Devontae's going to chuck them up no matter what. But Jose can hit them. I don't know why he doesn't take more. But when you've got guys like Zion, doesn't really shoot threes. Herb Jones is working on his 3. He's not a great three-point shooter, but he tries. But he's only taking 2 to 3 a game. He's not going to shoot a bunch. I mean, Jonas might as well not even try anymore.
Hey, he made one recently.
Yeah, the fact that you can point out that he made one, exactly. But he hasn't looked great in general, to be honest with you.
Zion also made one in that same game.
Mm-hmm. The fact that you know when they make one, kind of crazy to me. But yeah, like you were saying, with CJ and Trey, those are our only 2 guys who we can really count on to hit the 3 ball. Everybody else is, we don't really know what we're going to get from them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we did drop to second place in the West after that 3-game losing streak. We are only behind the Grizzlies, which really sucks because Grizzlies are in the same division as us. If we were going to be second place, I wish the first place team was in a different division, just so we still had that division lead. But we're only back by half a game. We have the same amount of wins. They just have 1 less loss. Tonight, we will be taking on the, I want to say, second best record in the league right now. I'm going to fact check that so I don't say something wrong. But a team that's very, very good no matter where they are in the standings, and that's the Milwaukee Bucks. Oh, they have the best record in the league right now. 21-8. They are looking very, very good. Yeah. The only thing about the Bucks is they are a much better home team than they are an away team, and the game is in New Orleans. so maybe that'll play a factor into it. Last time I checked, Milwaukee was a 1-point favorite, so
Close
even
game,
Vegas
yeah.
is expecting it to be a very, very close game tonight. Milwaukee's healthy. We are not quite as healthy, unfortunately. BI is still out. We don't know when he's coming back. Hopefully soon. We've been without him for a little bit, and I think he's a key piece to what we're missing here.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Because our scoring right now is very inconsistent. BI is going to give you 20 every night. Like his lowest, I think he'll score all season, maybe like 16 or something. Like he's not going to be the guy who's going to fail on the offensive side of the floor.
He's just so good at creating his own shots.
Yeah, I mean he's
With that big long frame, he can kind of just get to the mid range and pull up wherever he wants to.
BI plays real basketball how I play 2K. You just run, take a step back. If the middy's open, you take the mid. If not, pass it out and then get the ball back in your hands. Brandon Ingram is a very good player. I really hope he comes back soon. Hopefully we see him before the new year. And then another injury, we have Larry Nance. Larry Nance is day-to-day. He was questionable for this game. Not sure if he'll play or not. But even if it doesn't, I would expect him back pretty darn soon.
Yeah, I mean, I just love watching Larry Nance play. I feel like he's the one on this team who has more passion than anybody when it comes to playing the sport of basketball.
Absolutely.
See him out on the court just giving his heart out.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell he cares. And I love how petty he is, too, when we win.
Oh, yeah.
He's so petty to the other team. It makes me so happy. Like, he has no connections to New Orleans whatsoever, but he's fully adopted the city. Kind of reminds me of Josh Hart. When Josh Hart first got here, I mean, he was everywhere. So, we are still a very good team. We're second in the conference. There's no hating on the Pelicans right now. We've lost 3 straight, and we're still second place. That means something. We've got a super young roster. I mean, we're serious contenders right now, but I think we could make a move to make us even more serious. And I would expect us to, before the trade deadline, for the Pelicans to do something. And I think we both agree on what position we really need.
And similar build, too.
Yeah. So I posed the question to Byron. I said, if you could pick one player for the Pelicans to trade for right now, who would it be? And, of course, everybody would be like, oh, let's trade for LeBron. Let's trade for Joel Embiid. That would be nice. But I'm saying, realistically, who is a guy you could see fitting into the Pelican scheme, who we could get for what we have already, wouldn't ruin our future? Who's a guy that you would see on this Pelicans team you really think would help us? Who'd you pick?
I picked one of our buddy Reese's favorite players that he's been mentioning all season. Miles Turner. Like we were talking about earlier, we're kind of slacking on the 3-point shot tendencies, and I feel like he's one that can get us a few buckets from beyond the arc and really kind of space out the floor, let our slashers like Zion get to the bucket a lot easier. A package that I could see us putting together for him is giving away Jackson Hayes, who really kind of just hasn't worked out for us.
No, I mean, he's not even getting minutes at this point.
And Devontae Graham. I kind of chose Devontae Graham because he's not really working out for us. Plus, we're kind of deep at the guard position. We have Jose and CJ kind of being the 1 and 2 combo. He's kind of there to give both of them a break. And then, if needed, maybe like a pick or two.
Yeah, I think we'd probably definitely have to throw in a pick in there. The Pacers aren't a team that are expected to contend anytime soon, so they want to get younger. So that's why I could see Jackson Hayes working for him. But they're also good enough to realize, hey, we can't give away Miles Turner for nothing. So, I mean, I think that's a good package if you throw in, either a first and a pick swap, even 2 firsts. With us expected to be good, those should be later round picks, shouldn't be lottery picks or anything. So if you throw in Jackson Hayes, Devontae Graham, and a pick swap, and a first, an unprotected first, I think you could get a deal done for Miles Turner. And I really like Miles Turner. I went with a different guy, but just to give some background on your guy, Miles, he's averaging 17 points a game. He's averaging 8 rebounds a game, over 2 blocks. So he's fantastic on the defensive side of the floor. And not only that, but you were talking about his 3 ball. He's shooting 41.5% from 3. Now he's only taking 4 a game.
Yeah, but for a big man,
shooting 41%, nothing to sneeze at for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like this team, kind of the style we run our team in, he'll get a lot more opportunities because we've seen, a lot of people don't respect Jonas from out there.
Yeah.
But even so, we've still seen him open out there a few times where he could, if he wanted to, take the shot.
Yeah, and Miles Turner would be a great addition next to Zion because Zion's really upped his playmaking ability. So if Zion's driving to the rim and you have a second guy coming to try to stop him from scoring, and he kicks it out to Miles Turner's going to be open.
Yeah.
Not only is he going to be open,
pick and pop will be real.
but he's like 6'11", so he's going to shoot over the perimeter defender that rotates to him. So I mean, I love that Miles Turner trade. A guy I think is just a little bit better for me, so we'd have to give up a little bit more, of course, is Kristaps Porzingis. He has been playing absolutely lights out for the Washington Wizards.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, he's so good. The Wizards have been so bad recently, but he is the bright point. He's averaging 23 and 9 this year. He's shooting, I think, 35% from the 3-point. So he's playing so good. So good. He's 7'3" and can shoot the 3-ball. This Pelicans team needs size, and they need 3-point shooting. What's not to like about Kristaps Porzingis?
Yeah, fair.
Reese did bring this up, which is true, is he has an injury history.
He does. His defense also isn't on par as to what you would think a 7'3" player would be.
I would say he's an average defender. I wouldn't say he's like Miles Turner is a top tier defender. He is a top 5 defender at the center position, in my opinion. Kristaps Porzingis is probably somewhere in the middle of the league, I would say. He's way better than Jonas, though. Yeah. Jonas is a negative defender right now, which is why we don't play him in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
If you pay attention to our rotations...
Which is why it hurts not having Larry Nance right now.
Exactly. Like, if you pay attention to our rotations, Jonas doesn't get fourth quarter minutes. We have Larry out there, which Larry's a great player. He's a great defender, but Zion and Larry are 6'6" and 6'7", respectively. So you need height and length down there in the fourth quarter. I think that's kind of starting to hurt us, especially in those close games like in overtime or those fourth quarter runs where you've got guys like DeAndre Ayton, who's in there. He's 6'11". You've got Kelly Olynyk, who's 7 foot for the Jazz. He's working down there. You need to make sure you have size down there. So getting Kristaps Porzingis would really help us. And he's really good. I mean, it's not like he's a scrub who's only tall. That's not the only reason I want him. He's playing really, really well. He's averaging 23 points a game, and he shoots the 3-ball. A package for him, we trade Jonas. We include Jonas in the trade, and then we throw in your package of Jackson Hayes and Devontae Graham. I think maybe that would be able to get it done.
Yeah, that could stir up some things.
I think that would be enough, especially for a Wizards team that knows they're not contending. They get a project in Jackson Hayes. They get a guy who can come off the bench and score a ton of points for them in Devontae Graham, and they get a quality starter in Jonas. I'd even throw in a pick. I'd throw in a first-round pick if it means we get Kristaps Porzingis. I think he's a very good player, and I think he would be a perfect fit for this Pels team. That being said, I still love the Pels team as it is. Even if we don't make a move, I could see us making a run for it.
Yeah, another player that kind of just came to mind. It doesn't really solve the 3-point shooting issue, but again, it does solve the height and defense issue. I know it's kind of like a joke between us, but Nerlens Noel would be a great guy we could get for probably something, a small package.
Above the rim.
Above the rim, yes.
Yeah, I mean, he is one of the best defenders at the center position, and he's getting 0 minutes in Detroit because they don't know what to do with him. Because they have Isaiah Stewart, who is basically Nerlens Noel, but shorter. And they're just not giving Nerlens the time he deserves, and he's been all over the trade rumors. There's like 10 different teams looking at him right now. So while it wouldn't solve necessarily the shooting aspect, like you said, I think it would really help with that fourth quarter defense, for sure. Moving on from the New Orleans to an international game that just wrapped up. All I'm saying is you know more about this game, and I got the winner right.
Yeah, I mean...
But anyway,
I think we have this effect because, you don't know much about soccer.
No,
you got it right. Lott knew the most about baseball
and got it all right.
Got it all wrong.
Got the least right.
Reese, he's the basketball guy. His Vikings are looking pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we're all over the place. We cannot claim to be the guy anymore of anything.
Yep. We're just spoats.
We say stuff and hope it happens. But nonetheless, give us the rundown of what we saw in the World Cup between Argentina and France.
So, World Cup final, winner take all. Argentina defeated France in what may have been the best soccer match I've ever watched. And not only that, it was a World Cup. There was just so much drama down the stretch. It was such a enticing game. You couldn't really look away from it. There was two extremely talented players, one really young, one kind of old. In France's Kylian Mbappe, if you even just watched half of any one of France's games, you'll know that he's instantly a playmaker. And he scored 2 goals in a minute.
That's insane to me. I checked it. I checked the game right before church started because why would they putting it right before church on a Sunday? Come on now. Come on, World Cup. Do better. But I checked it right before church started. And it was in the 79th minute and Argentina was up 2-0. I was like, okay, cool. I went to the bathroom, came back, and literally the second we were about to start, it was the 82nd minute.
And it was tied.
And I was like, what? Kylian Mbappe scored 2 goals in a minute.
Yeah, I've been talking about him for a while, but he is a force. He's so fast. He has such good control with the ball.
Professional Chies, man.
Yeah. And then throwing it to the other side, Argentina's Lionel Messi.
The GOAT.
Yeah. If you didn't see the game live, I highly recommend going back and watching it. Even knowing the result of the game, it's still one of those games that you can just watch and enjoy. Even if it's watching The Office for the sixth time.
Yeah.
You're still going to enjoy it.
Still love it. Yeah, I definitely want to go back and watch the game because I couldn't watch it. But even knowing the end result, I'm like, I want to see everything that took place.
And wrapping that up, Messi finally finds his World Cup title. An already amazing career now is taking a step even further. Even further with this title. I believe that he was already had claimed the GOAT status. If not, he was on the very cusp of it. But now I don't think anybody can argue now that he has this title, this World Cup title that he's been chasing for so long. I think that kind of cements it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a soccer casual, man. I don't really know much. Not at all. But I've had the running joke ever since the World Cup started that, everything was about Messi. I was like, yeah, Messi's better. I don't care who you're talking about. CR7, who? Never heard of him. Messi's better. Messi the GOAT. That, I've just been joking about it, but I think it's true. From what I can see.
It's going to be tough to pass up all of his awards and notable achievements.
Now, here's a question for you off the dome, as we do. If he reaches his full potential from what you've seen so far, can Mbappe reach that level?
I was just about to talk about this. I think Kylian Mbappe can surpass him.
Wow.
Because he started at such a young age. Messi started young too, but he wasn't doing what Mbappe's doing
that young
at this age. Mbappe already has the World Cup title. He almost went back-to-back. France will still be a contender in the next World Cup, which will be here in the U.S.
Ooh,
2026.
Nice.
But yeah, I think he can surpass him. He's had such he's so young and he's already had such a great career.
Mm-hmm.
He could retire now and people will still talk about him. He's just one of those that comes in and makes an impact instantly.
Yeah, he's very fun to watch too. It's not like he's just putting up the stats. Eye test wise, you love to watch him play, and that's from a guy who hasn't watched much soccer at all.
But following that, Croatia defeats Morocco in the third place game.
I called that one too.
Yeah, you did.
I was 2 for 2. That's all I'm saying.
Croatia wins 2-1, and they scored first.
I got the score right too, by the way.
They scored first, and Morocco bounced back instantly. Croatia scored in the 7th minute, and then Morocco scored in the 9th minute. But after Morocco scored, it looked like Croatia kind of took it to heart. because they just showed their presence for the remainder of that game. They didn't really get that goal till right before halftime. I think it was in like the 39th minute. But after Morocco scored that goal, they kind of were reeling the rest of the game because Croatia was just pounding the attack. Another good game to watch. Not as exciting as the France game, but still a good game, as were most of the World Cup games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if you don't watch soccer, I mean, you enjoyed.
I did.
most of it.
I mean, I watched more soccer games in the past month than I have my entire life, and I told them, I was like, hey guys, I think I'm getting into soccer now. Like it's fun to watch. I mean, of course the World Cup is different because it has this different sort of feel.
Oh yeah.
But I might watch a couple MLS soccer games. Messi's coming to the MLS, so I'll have to
Miami.
tune into the Miami games. I've already picked my MLS team because I just felt like it. I went with Nashville. Do I have a reason? No.
No.
But I did it. So I am now a Nashville SC fan. Go Soccer Club.
But yeah, 4 years from now, 2026, World Cup will be here in the U.S. What do you expect to see from our native fans?
So this year for the World Cup, I would argue the U.S. was the most passionate I've ever seen them about the World Cup. I mean, of course, the last time was 2016, 2018? The last World Cup before this one? Once it gets closer, if it looks like we have any sort of chance at even winning, even getting out of the group stage, U.S. fans are going to show up.
Oh yeah, and I think they will have a shot. We have a really young team, and the world has recognized their talent. A lot of players from this team have been getting pay raises and been
Switching clubs.
Yeah, getting traded to better clubs, signed by better clubs. A lot of them moving out of the MLS into Europe and into Asia.
Shout out Pulisic. He's a dog.
But yeah, I'm really excited. Can't wait for World Cup to come here. Should see some games in Houston. I'll probably have to make some.
Yeah, if that's even possible.
Oh yeah,
That's gonna be crazy. But I expect a lot of fans to make it too. Because if you got fans going to Qatar, you're definitely gonna have people come to the United States. So it should be a very fun time. Unfortunate we have to wait 4 years for it.
Yeah. It's one of those
Kinda
things
sucks.
that you just want to start again immediately.
Yeah. But hey, in between now and then, we'll have
Building up the tension.
qualifiers. We'll have
Friendlies.
like Copa America,
Oh, yeah.
all that kind of stuff. Those will be fun to watch. And, like I said, I'm getting into the MLS now, so we'll see. Moving on from a game I know absolutely nothing about to moving on to a game that I know very little about, but more.
Slightly more. Mo.
Slightly more. We're going to talk about some baseball. Something we haven't talked about in a little bit. Buddy Lottober probably has a lot to say about all this kind of stuff. We're going to have him on soon so he can kind of address all this type of stuff. What we're talking about is free agency here. Is, we've had a lot of guys switch teams recently. I pulled up a list of 10 guys who I thought were notable. This isn't everybody, of course. It's going to be different dudes.
I'm going to make it 11.
He's going to make it 11 because he's a Cubs fan. But yeah, I've got a list of some people here just talking about what teams they went to, what teams they're coming from, what the contract looks like, what implications this may have on the MLB season. So first one right off the bat, the biggest name, Aaron Judge, ended up staying home with the New York Yankees. 9 years, $360 million for Aaron Judge.
So much money.
That is a ridiculous amount of money.
But
however,
I think he's earned it.
yeah, I mean, I don't. I was telling my parents, I don't think anyone on earth is worth that much money. That's $40 million a year. Who deserves
You know how many packs of ramen I can buy with $40 million a year?
$40 million? No, because ramen's
No.
like 19 cents or something.
No, it's like $1.50.
Oh well, you can probably get 28 million packs of ramen, or if I had to guess. Math adds up, but per year, by the way. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure Soundman's happy that Aaron Judge is back in New York. He was expecting him to go to the Mets because he's a Yankees fan, and they're so pessimistic even though they have 27 World Series. But yeah, Aaron Judge is staying in New York 9 years. What do you think about Aaron Judge staying?
I'm glad that he's staying because we've seen a trend recently of not just in baseball but a lot of sports. We don't really see players really kind of staying loyal to their beginnings anymore. They're kind of just all about I want to go where the money takes me, and to see this out of an all-star player like this really shows some heart.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised he went back to the Yankees. It makes sense for him. It makes sense for the team. I was kind of hoping to switch it up just because I'm a Red Sox fan. I was hoping the Yankees wouldn't get Aaron Judge back, but he's back. He's 30, so he'll be there through age 39 if he stays throughout his entire contract. We'll see how that works. But, yeah, Aaron Judge is a Yankee again. Trey Turner, he kind of started the ball rolling in free agency. Went to the Philadelphia Phillies, the team that unfortunately lost the World Series. I was really hoping they'd win that one. But Trey Turner went to the Phillies on an 11-year, $300 million contract. So not as much as Aaron Judge, but still a very substantial amount of money. Trey Turner going to the Phillies. What's your thoughts?
I like the acquiring of Trey Turner by the Phillies. Such a dynamic player, has real speed on the base path.
Yeah,
but I like to see them, going out and getting players and trying to stay contenders for that World Series title.
Yeah, I mean, they brought the Astros to 6 games in this past World Series. They looked good doing it. The fact that people even thought they had a chance to win says a lot about a young Phillies team. So adding Trey Turner, one of the most dynamic players in baseball, not a bad recoup.
Yeah, it makes that lineup. It kind of takes it to a whole nother level because
I agree.
You can rely on Trey Turner to get on base.
And not only is he going to get on base by walking or getting singles every now and then,
or bunting.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he can bunt for on base as well. I mean, he bats over 300. Like, he's a really good player. So we'll see how that works out for the Phillies.
I think it really fills a hole in that batting lineup because we've seen a lot of Bryce Harper, Bohm, Hoskins,
Kyle Schwartz.
They can hit the home run ball, but their problem is they don't have many runners on base when they do. And I think this kind of fills that hole.
Yeah, you got to get runners on base if you want to score runs. So Trey Turner's that guy to get on base. This one hurts a lot for me.
I bet it does.
The
good old Red Sox.
I'm a Red Sox fan, man.
Not doing anything.
I've stated it many a time. Oh, they do things. Trust me, they do a lot. I've stated it many a time. I'm a Red Sox fan. I wish I wasn't at this point. Just a few years ago, we traded Mookie Betts, one of the best players that we've had in a very long time, to the Dodgers for a bag of chips and a used napkin. We got the main pieces we got out of that trade were Michael Chavis, who no longer plays for the team, Jeter down, so we just DFA'd, and Colton Wong, who played 5 games at catcher last season. So yeah, that was
loves his team.
Oh, I love him. We've made many questionable moves in this offseason, like signing Justin Turner to $15 million a year, signing 3 pitchers who are over the age of 32, and an Asian guy from Japan who we haven't seen play in the MLB. So we're making some very questionable moves. We have yet to extend Rafael Devers.
And the oh-so-sad passing of J.D. Martinez.
And J.D. Martinez signed with the Dodgers, as I said he would the second the season ended, for less money than we signed Justin Turner for. J.D. is younger, better, and now they just switched teams. We got a worse J.D. Martinez for $5 million more a year. All this to say Xander Bogaerts, a guy who has been absolutely loyal to Boston. We drafted him at 18 years old out of the Dominican Republic. He spent 12 years in the Red Sox organization. and he is now a San Diego Padre. Went to San Diego for 11 years, $280 million. Less money than I thought he would get, and less money than the Red Sox could afford. We could have afforded up to $28 million a year. He gets $24.5. I mean, there was a picture, and I'm going to talk about the fourth guy in this picture. They had a picture of 5 guys that all played in the All-Star game that at one point was on the same Red Sox team. That was Rafael Devers, Xander Bogaerts, Mookie Betts, JD Martinez, and Andrew Benintendi. All 5 of them were on the same Red Sox team when we won the World Series in 2018. Or in the Red Sox organization.
Yeah. They're all gone except one.
And we only have one left.
So far.
And he is in his 3rd year of arbitration and has yet to receive a contract extension. So he might be gone next year, too. We suck.
But by God, do you have Bobby Dalbec?
Shut up. But I love this for the Padres. Fernando Tatis.
I feel like it kind of crowds it up, but I think they can figure it out.
Tatis has a suspension that he's serving. Has injury issues. Has a lot of fielding issues. Like, he's great with the bat in his hand, but he is a negative defender. So sticking him in the outfield, moving him to second, something like that. Putting Xander, who is he's older, but he's still very, very good. It's great for the Padres.
Yeah, I agree.
I hate it for the Red Sox, though.
I didn't really expect the Padres to make a move on the fielding or batting wave. I expected them to make some pitching moves because we've seen their pitching kind of struggle, especially in the postseason. But that being said, they were able to hold their own for the most part. It's just once they get past their first 2 or 3 pitchers, they kind of fall out. But I do like what I see with Xander on the Padres, putting up some more runs on the batting side, picking up the slack on the fielding side.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't be surprised if they make another move to try and acquire a pitcher.
Yeah, I mean the Padres are a team that was close last year, and they might get even closer this year. I went on a very long Red Sox rant there, so I ate up some of our time here. I'm gonna quickly go through a couple more that I think are relevant. Like I said, Andrew Benintendi, he went to the White Sox, 5 years, $75. Josh Bell, formerly of the Padres, goes to the Guardians, 2 years, $33 million. I think that's a great contract.
That's a good move.
Both for the Guardians and for Josh Bell. That's a great move. Jose Abreu, who I was hoping would be a Red Sox, went to the Astros. Of course he did. 3 years, $58.5 million. Justin Verlander got paid.
Yeah.
Went to the Mets, who are not afraid to pay anybody. They went brazy with him. 2 years, $86.6 million for Justin Verlander, and he's getting up there in age. However, he just won the Cy Young. So, I mean...
And the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, he was ace for a World Series team. You give him $44 million a year. I guess he's worth it. Carlos Correa. The Giants did end up spending up this offseason. We thought it was going to be Aaron Judge. Ended up being Carlos Correa. Shortstop. Had that little 1-year stint with the Twins to prove his worth, and boy, did he do it. 13 years, $350 million for Carlos. Got back to what everyone knew he was on the Astros, and he got paid like it. A guy everybody was looking at what kind of money he would get. Jacob deGrom. A lot of injury history, but when he's healthy, he's the best pitcher in the league.
Oh, yeah, and it's not even close.
No, and he got paid like it. 5 years, $185 million. He's going to be getting money for sure. So hopefully he can stay healthy, and I like that for the Rangers. Not a team, one of those kind of mid-tier teams.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect him to go out and make a move like this. But
he's from Texas. I think it was kind of like a homecoming type thing, but they gave him a lot of money. I think it's a good move. Since I went on a Red Sox rant, you can go on a little Cubs rant here. They signed 2 players, and 2 very good players at that.
Players.
Tell us about the Cubs.
It's not so much of a rant because I'm happy about it. But, so the first move they made earlier, because it's not baseball season, says Soundman.
Checks out.
The first move they made that really kind of shocked me because it went completely under the radar. No one really had this on their sites. But Cody Bellinger signs a 1-year deal.
1 year deal. Man, we are good at talking tonight, let me tell you.
1-year deal for $17.5 million. I think he'll help us out a lot.
Yep.
Even if it's just for 1 year. It'll kind of get us back onto the winning side of things to be able to, get some more talent there. And a real shocking one in Dansby Swanson.
Hey, huge move for the Cubs here.
So excited to see him in a Cubs uniform.
Yeah, he's. I'm a big fan of Dansby Swanson, so I'm really happy for your Cubs that y'all got him.
Cubs sign him 7-year for $177 million.
It's a good little contract.
I wish I made that much.
Don't we all?
But yeah, I like what I'm seeing out of the Cubs even this early. Getting back to the Cubs that can hit the ball.
Yeah, you won the World Series 6 years ago.
And there's no one from that team left.
Yeah, tell me about it. We won it 4 years ago, and there's nobody from the team left. It happens,
Tragic,
man. Yeah. It happens. But hey, one of our teams is on the come up. The other one looks like a dumpster fire. I will cheer for the Cubs.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Don't cheer for the Red Sox. You're going to get your heart broken. Moving out of baseball, since as Soundman says it's not baseball season, we're going to talk about the NFL and our bets, as we normally do. Our road dogs, Byron had the Steelers. I had the Ravens. Yours hit?
Yeah.
I was with you on it. It sounded good. Mine did not hit, unfortunately. I had the Ravens. You questioned me.
I did try and talk you out of it.
You did. And I was like, no. I feel good about this. Tyler Huntley, I thought he could do it. J.K. Dobbins has been playing really well. And, again, he played really well. He rushed for 130 yards in the game. Just wasn't enough to beat the Browns.
Yeah.
So I missed on my road dog. However, I made up for it in our pick'ems. I went 11 for 14 this weekend. That's pretty darn good.
Hell yeah.
You went 10 for 14, unfortunately. I mean, still very good.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But I edged you out by one. We're back on that trend where one of us beats the other one by one. Very, very, very quickly, I want to run through the games here, give a quick comment on a couple of them. We're not going to run through all of them.
There was some heartbreak.
Yeah, that Colts game, Colts up 33-0 at halftime. Vikings win at 39-36. What happened?
I don't know.
That's
It's
largest comeback in NFL history.
I turned it off, and then I got a notification saying that it was tied, and I was like, "What?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, largest comeback in NFL history by the Vikings. 33-0 at halftime. I mean, just if you don't want to blow leads, don't have Matt Ryan as your quarterback. I don't know what to tell you. He is now responsible for the biggest playoff blown lead and the biggest regular season blown lead in NFL history.
Wow.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan.
Sorry, Matt Ryan. Another game I thought was pretty notable. The Jags took down the Cowboys in overtime.
Yeah.
Cowboys easily should have won that game. There was no reason that they lose that game. But here we are sitting here looking at the score, and Jags won 40-34. Dak throws a pick six in overtime. Of course, it really wasn't his fault if you go back and watch it. Hits off the receiver's hands, bounces up in the air. Jags guy takes it and runs it in. But that doesn't matter to the record.
A win's a win.
A win is a win. The Jags take down the Cowboys.
2 games that surprised me. First one, Eagles-Bears.
Yeah, it was close. Way closer than it should have been, in my opinion.
Eagles barely win against these Bears, 25-20. Justin Fields looked like he was on a mission.
That man can run all over the field.
And then the second game, where I really thought the Texans were going to win this game.
Oh, that would have been beautiful to watch.
Chiefs beat the Texans in overtime, 30-24. The 1-12-1 Texans held their own for that entire game.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 weeks in a row, barely lost to the Cowboys and now barely lose to the Chiefs. 2 very good teams. So maybe the Texans have something.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe they're just got to stop playing the top dog teams.
Yeah, and it looks like they'll get the number 1 pick this year, probably take Bryce Young.
Yeah.
They'll have Dameon Pierce. I don't know who's going to be their receiving core. That's questionable.
That is questionable.
But they have
probably still be
playmakers on the
Brandon Cooks.
defense. Derek Stingley's great out there. So Jalen Petre at safety. Texans got some players. We'll see them in the future.
I mean, yeah, and for overtime final, 30 points to the Chiefs, when you're a team that's looking like this bad, I consider that as a win.
Yeah. I mean, they played really well.
I mean, not for this season, but moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, holding a team like the Chiefs to, only beating you by 6 points in overtime, it's notable.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking more about bets, we've got some parlays cooking up for the game that is going to be starting in, about 30 minutes here. The Monday Night Football game, Rams versus the Packers. We'll do a little parlay first, and then we'll give you a quick breakdown on the game, who we think is going to win, and then we'll send you out of here so you can go ahead and watch that Monday Night Football game. First parlay we're going to talk about is, of course, Soundman's. Great bettor. He said he had a rough weekend. I had a great weekend, thankfully, because I make stupid, long, odd parlays that somehow hit sometimes.
But fair warning, he did say he doesn't like this game.
No, he said he hates this game. I would say lock, but there's nothing a lock about this game tonight. This game's very, very interesting. But his input is Rams plus 7.5 and over 39.5, and you get those odds at plus 264. I don't know what's going to happen in this game tonight. It's an odd one for sure. My parlay, because I want to save yours for last.
Yes, please.
My parlay, I'm looking at Green Bay money line. I didn't want to touch the spread because it could go either way. Christian Watson for 50-plus receiving yards. He's really shown face this season. I think he's been very, very, very good. And then A.J. Dillon touchdown. He is their power guy. It's going to be really cold tonight. Bruising backs in the cold are just a match made in heaven. You can parlay all three of those for plus 452. And now, the real show.
So let me break it down. Soundman, it is his birthday. So I kind of made this parlay for him. He is in the playoffs in our fantasy league.
Mm-hmm.
Down by a good bit. He needs
42 points.
Yeah, he needs Aaron Jones to score 42 points.
Mm-hmm.
So this parlay I call is the Soundman to the ship parlay. Please don't bet this at home.
Do not bet what Byron is about to say unless you want to lose money.
It's just, you got to spread positivity.
Yeah.
We want Soundman to win.
We do. I want him to win it all. In hopes that he'll give me a cut.
You won't, but Lionel Frankenstein might.
Lionel Frankenstein deserves a large cut.
With that being said, the first part of this parlay, it's only 2 parts.
Only 2 parts, yeah, to be fair.
Is Aaron Jones to get 3 touchdowns. That's the first part. And the second is for him to get 80-plus rushing yards.
See, 80-plus rushing yards is not super out of the question. I don't think Aaron Jones will do it because I think A.J. Dillon's probably going to get more quality touches tonight, especially in the rushing.
Yeah, I was going to put his receiving yards up there.
Wouldn't let you.
Oh, it wouldn't let me bet the over, which was 20.5 on his receiving yards. If you want to get that at minus 110.
Yeah, I like
but
that.
Then when I went to, the alternate receiving yards, he just wasn't even up there.
That's stupid. He's good for 25 a game. So, if you can figure out how to make it work, throw the Aaron Jones receiving yards in there.
But yeah, you can get those 2 combined for plus 7,814.
That's disgusting. That sounds like a Bryce parlay if I've ever heard it. But I love it. Aaron Jones 3 touchdowns.
Before we move forward, our comment section brings up a good point that I did want to talk about a little bit. The Patriots-Raiders game.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Soundman said, how about them Patriots? And Doug Nasty said, that was awesome.
Yeah, so quick rundown, 24-24, last play of the game. Patriots have no timeouts. They're on offense. Immediate thought, kneel the ball going overtime.
Right, yeah.
It makes sense. It's not like they're not in the red zone or anything.
Or at least throw a Hail Mary.
Yeah, just, either go for the touchdown or kneel the ball. Those are pretty much our only 2 options. No.
They did interview Belichick after the game and ask him why he didn't go for a Hail Mary, and he said because Mac can't throw that far.
That's so messed up, bro. That's screwed. You should have put in Bailey Zappi then.
Right?
But, yeah.
Would have won the game by 20.
If you didn't see it, you've got to go back and watch it. I promise you're going to find it very easily. Going down as the worst play in NFL history, in my opinion. 24-24, instead of throwing a Hail Mary or kneeling the ball and trying to send it into overtime, Patriots gives it to Ramondre Stevenson. Takes off for quite a few yards.
Yeah, he had a good carry. It looked like he was going to go for a second.
And then, he's got 3 people around him, so naturally he throws a lateral to Game is tied.
And it wasn't like a lateral to like the nearest person or like the next skilled player.
No, he threw it about 7 yards back to Jacoby Myers, who then takes a step back, looks around, and instead of him running out of bounds or being like, hey, the game is tied, we're not going to lose here, he goes for a cross-field pass to quarterback Mac Jones.
While he's falling the opposite direction.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, though, throws it on a seed. Like, great, great throw.
It was a good throw.
Directly to Chandler Jones of the Las Vegas Raiders, who then stiff arms Mac Jones through the bottom of the map on Call of Duty. Mac Jones, I'm pretty sure, has turf still stuck in his throat and takes it 46 yards for a touchdown for the Raiders to win the game.
Yeah.
Craziest ending to a football game I think I've ever seen. I mean, the Patriots making a mistake like that with Bill Belichick as the coach? Absurd.
Yeah.
But, hey,
you live and you learn.
It's the NFL, man. Yeah. Anything can happen. Just like the Saints can make the playoffs still. So, gross. But, you know, we'll hurry up and get out of here so everybody can get ready for that Monday Night Football game. Like we said, Rams versus Packers. Packers are favored by 7.5. That over-under is set at 39.5. Rams are not healthy. I mean, Baker Mayfield's their starting quarterback. He's only been with the team 2 weeks. Cooper Kupp's on IR. Aaron Donald's out. Matthew Stafford's on IR. Just tonight, they're going to be missing guys like Allen Robinson, David Long Jr., Marquise Copeland. Packers are much healthier. Their only starter missing is David Bakhtiari. They're getting Romeo Doubs back. I mean, for me, all signs are pointing to the Packers tonight.
Yeah. Rams, besides their most recent game, Rams just haven't been, that team that everybody thought they would be. Baker Mayfield kind of threw in some magic.
He looked decent for sure
in the last game.
But, it's going to be cold, 24 degrees at kickoff in Lambeau. My two keys to really watch out for is, what's going to happen in this game is A.J. Dillon versus the Rams rush defense. They're a top 10 rush defense in the league.
But they don't have Aaron Donald.
They don't have Aaron Donald.
Or David Long.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be something to watch for that A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones backfield to take on a good rush defense. And then Christian Watson versus Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey, I think, is honestly taking a step back, in my opinion. I don't think he's the best corner in the league anymore. He looks like he's aging a little bit. And then Christian Watson has been super athletic, super fast, and looked really, really good this season.
When he can catch the ball.
When he doesn't drop the ball, for sure. So, going off of all of that, quick score prediction, I'm going Green Bay 21, L.A. 16.
Yeah, my score prediction's kind of piggybacking off of my parlay because, I can't contradict myself.
No, can't do that.
But, yeah, like you said, the run game's going to be apparent in this matchup tonight, and I think Green Bay has the clearer advantage in the run game. So I'm taking Green Bay 35, Los Angeles 10.
I mean, I definitely don't think that many. I don't think Green Bay's going to score that many.
I have to have Aaron Jones score 3 touchdowns.
You have to be consistent, of course.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, neither of us really like touching this game as far as money goes. Like, to be honest, I really don't like it. But I think we both see Green Bay winning this one. And that'll do it for the Off the Dome Sports Podcast tonight. Great episode. Always love it. Always love sitting here and just talking about sports. I mean, I do it off camera. Why not do it on camera, too, so everybody can listen at home?
Yeah.
Whether you're listening on newrockradio.us, watching us on Radio House Studios, watching back on the Radio House Studios Facebook, YouTube channels. Don't forget, you can always watch us back. Even if you're not watching live, you can go back and watch them at any time. So make sure to do that. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Off the Dome Sports Podcast, Twitter, _Dome Pod. Once again, want to thank Petra Restaurant and Lounge for sponsoring us. Love Petra. Love that place. Really appreciate them giving some love to New Rock Radio and to the Off the Dome Sports Podcast. I am Bryce.
And I'm Byron.
And you will see us next time.
Can y'all quit acting like y'all didn't know? Yeah, took a break, but better hold your nose. Yeah, I've been cooking, don't inhale smoke. Been busy dropping hooks. Peter Pan can't leave his home. Ay, yeah, I prefer the backseat. I prefer a taxi. Goonies all the limelight. That be too distracting. Seen too many people reach the top just to lose it all for me. That